Whispers in the shadows. The town of Eldermoor was a quaint place, nestled in the midst of towering pines and surrounded by shadowed hills that seemed to absorb the sunlight. The houses looked like they were plucked from some vintage photograph, their white picket fences now weathered and peeling. Yet within its picturesque facade lay a history steeped in tragedy, where laughter mingled with whispered secrets and shadows moved of their own volition. Elena was 17, a soft-spoken girl with an imagination that often outpaced her peers. She often found solace in the depths of the woods that edged the town, where she could escape the loud banter of the high school hallways. It was there, in the whispers of the trees and the sigh of the wind, that she constructed worlds of her own. But lately, the woods had started to feel different. Something shifted in the air, like a film of grime over the lyrics of a beloved song. It began with the whispers. At first, they were gentle murmurings that floated through the air, almost musical in quality. Elena, they seemed to call softly, pulling her deeper into the embrace of the trees. When she tried to shake it off, the words took on a distinctly sinister tone. Elena, come play. She shivered but pressed on, brushing aside what her mind told her were just tricks of the light. Surely, she was just imaginative, an artist yet to find her muse. Then she came across the old Crescent Manor, a dilapidated structure on the very edge of the woods. Painted a sickly shade of gray, it loomed like a giant's ghostly hand reaching for the sky. It had rested unused for decades. All the stories the town spun about crescents, of madness and ghostly shadows that danced on the walls, filled her head. Yet, an irresistible pull urged her to explore. The whispers welcomed her, their cadence comforting like a lullaby. Pushing open the creaking door, she stepped inside. Dust motes swirled in the light filtering through broken windows. She could see remnants of a grand past. Faded family portraits, spindly furniture now covered with sheets, and an air of sorrow that clung to the walls. It was both terrifying and enchanting. Suddenly, she spotted it, an old mirror, glinting under a shattered light, its surface smeared with grime. Staring into it, she sensed a shift, her own reflection flickered. For a heartbeat, her image warped, the edges blurring into something sinister. Someone with wide, wild eyes stared back at her, lips twitching into a smile that felt utterly foreign. Join us, the whisper floated through the room, chilling her to the bone. It wasn't just a voice, it was a harmony of voices, layered and thick. She stumbled back, heart racing. Panic gripped her throat. Get out, she muttered to herself, as she turned to leave. But leaving the manor was not as simple as entering. The whispers sharpened into frantic crescendos around her. Stay, please? The walls trembled with the weight of her mental storm. She couldn't distinguish where the voices ended and her thoughts began. Memories of a broken family haunted her, her mother's manic laughter, her father's stern gaze fading into the depths of memory as he slipped into a world of forgotten names and faces. Was this madness, or was she being drawn into it? Days turned into weeks and Elena returned to the manor, drawn like a moth to a flame, welcoming its dreadful chaos. Each visit left her more fractured, more consumed by voices that soothed and tormented in equal measure. Friends noticed her absent stare, the way her fingers twitched when she tried to concentrate, the edges of her once vibrant world pulling away. What's wrong, Elena? Lucy, her best friend, asked one day, concern etched on her face. I'm fine, she lied, though she knew she was losing grasp on reality. The mirror called out to her. Do you hear them too? She whispered. Hear who? Lucy frowned, and in that moment, Elena's heart fell. The people she once loved turned into shadows, dismissing her fears as anxiety or high school drama. But they could not understand, or perhaps they didn't want to see the truth that lay within her. One chilly evening, she stood before the mirror once more, desperation clawing at her. Help me, she pleaded to the voices beyond the glass. They cooed lovingly, picking apart the jagged shards of her sanity. We're here, Elena. We're always here. Quote. With that, her reflection morphed again, now flickering between her and the wild-eyed figure that lurked just beneath the surface. She reached out to touch the glass, yet it rippled like water, drawing her hand through. She plunged headfirst into the depths of the mirror, the whispers swelling to a deafening roar of chaos, suffocating her spirit. In an instant, she was engulfed, the mirror breaking apart like a shattered dream. The last thing she remembered was the laughter, her own distorted laughter echoing within the walls of Crescent Manor, a twisted symphony to welcome her into their darkness. Days turned into weeks, until the townsfolk noticed her absence. A search ensued, leading them to the manor. They found nothing but an empty room, the mirror intact, glimmering with a newfound sheen, waiting to ensnare the next victim. In Eldermoor, the legend of the Crescent Manor deepened, whispered from one generation to the next, a tale of a girl who succumbed to madness in a dance of shadows, forever echoing through the trees, forever kept in the embrace of the whispers.